Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Still not 100, but your girl, Miss Honey, is here to do her review for this week's episode of Fox's new drama/thriller, The Passage. This show is good, you guys. It's good. It's good. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that Fox going to do right by us and keep this show and help us see it through at least 2 or 3 seasons. Come on now. Anyway, this is The Passage, Season 1, Episode 2, You Owe Me a Unicorn. All right. Now, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget that little notification bell right next to it. Zip on over to that thumbs up button. It's like saying, hey, Miss Honey. And don't forget to comment down below. How y'all feel about this show? Did y'all catch up on episode 1? What is we doing? We rocking this thing together or what? Let me know. All right. You owe me a unicorn. All right. So, I stand corrected. I thought the actor who played Brad was Chris Pratt, but it isn't. It is Mark Paul Gosselaar, okay? And the young lady who plays Amy Belafonte, who says her name like she is the Queen of Egypt every time she says it. The actress's name who plays Amy Belafonte is Sanaa Sidney. And she played, I think, in Fences. Anywho, we learned in this episode, everyone has their own intention about an agenda for why they're doing what they're doing. Also, we learned that the show is a series of battles, okay? Each battle is always between good and evil, but the battles seem to be coming in different pockets, okay? So first, let's talk about Dr. Jonas. Now, y'all know Dr. Jonas is the one that was with patient 0, Dr. Tim Fanning, went down in Bolivia and got his neck opened up by a 250-year-old vampire. All right. Well, we learned a little bit more about Dr. Jonas's intention, okay? Dr. Jonas is one of the few people, although I don't think Dr. Major, who is the black doctor who is over the CDC, I think I stand corrected. I think she may have a South African accent. It may not necessarily be British or, you know, European either way. Oh, you know they be everywhere. Anyway, so I don't think he is being sort of glimmered or entranced or hypnotized or pursued mentally by the vampiric guinea pigs. I don't think so. I don't think he and Dr. Major are, but we know that Babcock, the female vampire, she is glimmering Clark, the head of the DOD over the CDC. And we know that Tim Fanning, patient 0, the one who got his neck opened up by the 250-year-old vampire, he's glimmering his caretaker. But because he was bitten by the 250, he's got like a little bit more power than all of them. Now, a lot of his power, we're learning, is being driven by his own personal evil. You know, it's kind of like if a person comes into money, it just exacerbates who they already are. It doesn't change them. It just exacerbates who they already are. If they were a little bit of a jerk broke, they a whole lot of a jerk rich. So we kind of have to think of it that way. But he's entering into a lot of people's dreams and day thoughts and that type of thing. And including the other vampire guinea pigs. All right. Anyway, Turns out that Dr. Jonas and Dr. Tim were friends. And what happened is Dr. Jonas' wife, Liz, got diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. And Dr. Jonas had heard about this 250-year-old vampire and had gotten, not vampire, but 250-year-old man living in Bolivia, right? And had gotten some DNA from this individual somehow, some way, and he takes all of this evidence and he goes to see Tim. Now, the wife don't want him to go and see Tim. Now, she's still in her right mind. She's just been diagnosed. Now, we flipping back in time. She's just been diagnosed with the Alzheimer's. And she don't want him to get involved with Tim Fanning because Tim Fanning ain't no good. And you ain't no good when you with Tim. You know what I'm saying? Don't get him involved with this. I just want you to be with me, honey, and stay with me and love me. And, you know, we walk into this thing slowly, into the sweet, sweet night. But Jonas don't want that. He don't want that at all. He loves his wife. He loves her. And he going to do whatever he can to save her. Well, when he goes to talk to Dr. Tim, we find that Dr. Tim is a neuroscientist. Okay, and after he sees the research, he's enamored. He thinks, wow, you really got something here. We're going to change the world. We're going to rock the world, you know, take the world by storm. Now, Jonas just want to save his wife, but Dr. Fanning want to take over the whole world with this. So he tells Jonas, let me worry about the funding. Let me worry about the funding. I'll get the money for this and get us over there to Bolivia. Well, he does. He turned quite a few people down. But he accepted the highest bidder, which was who? The DOD, the Department of Defense. Of course, they want to use it for warfare, right? Of course, of course. So, although Jonas don't like it, and definitely Liz don't like it, they go with it. And this is how they ended up in Bolivia. Now, we get to see Jonas as he thinks back over how things took place. We get to see him giving Anthony Clark his injection of the virus, as well as an injection that includes a tracking device. I suppose all of them have tracking devices on them. And he's having this earnest conversation with Anthony Carter. And he's, you know, Anthony Carter says, why do I feel more in jail now than I was when I was on death row? Why do I feel for myself more now than I did then? And Jonas knows what he's talking about because the stuff he's seeing with the other test subjects is making him uneasy. What they doing with the little girl, Amy Belafonte, trying to get her to come along and be another guinea pig, sacrificing her in essence, is making him uneasy. As a matter of fact, he talked to Dr. Major, the black doctor over the CDC there, and he tells her his concerns. She tells him that Brad is on the run with Amy Belafonte, and he wishes them Godspeed because he doesn't want to go about it this way. He doesn't want to use a child as a guinea pig. He don't really like what he's seeing in the other test subjects. He just is not sure. He's hopeful that Anthony, who is the youngest test subject and by far the strongest and most, you know, let's just be honest, he's melanated. I'm just keeping it real. He melanated. Will be the best hope. But Dr. Majors got this Asian aviatic flu that's coming down on them. They've already closed the borders in some, the airports in some Asian countries, not letting people in or out. So the pressure of trying to get this done is what Dr. Major's agenda and intention is. She feel bad about it. She tried to talk Clark out of it. Maybe we should get another child. And he was like, no, we still got to deal with Brad. But we're going to talk about it. So, like I said, he has this conversation with Anthony. Right before he walks out of the room, Anthony asks him, Doctor, did you ever see yourself doing this kind of work as a doctor? And he said, no, I can't say that I did. You know, and it pricks him. He feels bad. He leaves there and he goes to the facility where he has his wife, and she is, by this time, fast forward some 3 years, her type of Alzheimer's is moving at a real accelerated pace, and she's now not cognitive. She's audible, she's talking, she doesn't seem like she's walking very much. She was in a wheelchair, and she's just at this wondering stage. And she's back in time, back when she was lecturing and writing and that type of thing. She's not remembering being married or that he's her husband. And he's talking to her and he's telling her she was right. She was right. Let me tell you why. When he see Anthony Clark again, Anthony Clark been running. He's in great shape. He feels great. Okay, we see him on a treadmill. He's running outside of this, but we see him in one scene, and he's on a treadmill, and he's running, and hears something weird, maybe some music. Leaves there, and some should have told him he was in a dream because he didn't have no guards with him. He leaves there and goes through another door, and then goes through another door and opens up this door, and it's a beautiful, almost like nightclub type scene, and music is playing, and there's a beautiful white woman. That's Shauna Babcock, the female vampire, the female test subject. You know, the one that's got her eye on Clark, the DOD guy, the one that's glimmering Clark, the DOD guy. Yeah. Well, she's sitting there at the bar with a little skimpy outfit on, and he was like, "Do I know you?" And she was like, "Oh, well, you don't know me yet." And then she said something about she said, "Well, how do you feel?" "Oh, I feel great. I feel great." I said to myself, ain't this the setup? Ain't this the setup for a black man? A nightclub and a white woman laying across the bar and beverages. This supposed to be the trap. Well, Anthony wasn't having none of it. And when she said something about boom, Tim pops up, poof. He pops up. He's supposed to be the bartender. He bring up Jonas. You can't trust Jonas. You know. Then he pours him, Anthony, and Shauna Babcock a drink. You know it ain't nothing but blood. Of course, Shauna drink right up. She's like, "You get used to it." He tells Anthony to drink it. Anthony was like, "I don't think so." See, everything might be set up like the perfect way to trap yourself a melanated man, but all melanated men don't fall for it. I'm really hoping that Anthony turns out to be a hero in this. I'm hoping that who he is inside is predominantly good and kind, and whatever this virus is, if it don't do nothing else, it heightens that. I'm praying it don't turn him evil. I really, really am. I want him to be a superhero here. Okay? I like the cut of his jib. And he fine. And he good looking. Please check out that set of lips he got. I will. Mwah. And also that bottom lip. But that's a different story. Anyway. Yeah. So Anthony was like, "You know what? I don't have time for this." And he gets up and walks off. "I know, thank you." Well, before he gets ready to walk off, the guy says, "You're going to have to settle up with us first." Tim says, "You're going to have to settle up with us first." And Anthony says, "I don't have any money on me." And the girl, Shauna Babcock, gets up and, "Oh, we don't take money here," and reaches into Anthony's mouth and pulls out a wisdom tooth. What the freak? Are you kidding me? And she throws it on the bar and says, "Around here, you pay with yourself." I said, "You better come on, Metaphor for Life. You better come on, Metaphor for Life. You better come on. You ain't just paying money for some stuff in this world. Some stuff in this world that you're below standard on, that you letting slide, that you looking away from and not paying attention to and not raising the bar on. You paying for it more than with money. You paying for it with yourself, with your very soul, and sometimes with your own life. You better be careful who you take drinks from. You better be careful who you take advice from, who you take help from. Okay, because some people, when they come back, they don't want money. When they come back and return the favor, want you to return the favor, they want you. Okay? Come through, metaphor. Come through, life lesson. Yes, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. All right? Let's move forward. Well, when Anthony turns to walk off, Tim right there in his face. Before you go, I want you to tell Jonas something for me. So later on, when Anthony see Jonas in the hall, and he telling Jonas how good he feel that he ran a couple of miles, he said, but I'm having bad dreams though. Can you help me with that? And he said, well, I can give you a sleeping pill, but what are your dreams about? He said, yeah, you might know I saw a friend of yours in the dream, Tim Fanning. Jonas says, ooh. Now he realized last episode when the caretaker for Fanning said he be dreaming about Fanning, he realized what he was saying now. Fanning is tiptoeing in and out of the dreams of people. Okay, this is going to be problematic. It's probably partially terrifying, and this is exactly what he meant when he told his wife, you were right, honey. You were right. Getting Tim involved was going down the wrong path. All right? So he tells him what Tim Fanning said, that you said you wanted to change the world. Just don't be surprised at how. Ooh, them ninjas gonna get out of them glass cages and be infecting people left and right, and it's gonna be up to Anthony Carter and Amy Belafonte to save the day. Those are my predictions. Okay, let's move forward. So that was Dr. Jonas's intention in getting it all started. This was his agenda in kicking this ball off rolling, and it has picked up speed and dirt and trees and hair and rock and stone, and it is steamrolling towards him at a great speed. And he doesn't know how to stop it. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do because he has created something really, really evil in his friend Tim. We see Dr. Major. Her intention is to stop this avian flu, and what she's willing to do is look over what she knows is right, what she knows is ethically and morally right, in order to save the greater good or a greater number of people. So Amy is considered, in her mind, it's a necessary sacrifice. I hope it's going to be a win-win, but it's a necessary sacrifice in order to save way more people. So we see that. We get to see Brad and Amy. Brad and Amy have ditched the DOD and they SUVs, and they riding along when Brad passes out. Well, Amy is frightened. I promise you, in this little scene where he passes out of the side of the road and she calls his wife, she looks so much like what's old girl from Good Times? Penny. She looks so much like Penny from Good Times. At different points and places in the show, she looks so much like Penny to me. Well, she calls Leela. Leela is Brad's ex-wife, and she's also a medical personnel. I don't know if she's a nurse and a doctor or a PA or what. But why is it every time you see military, ex-military people, they've been married or they married to people in the medical field? What y'all think that's all about? Y'all remember Shooter? Shooter with Mark Wahlberg, he was married to a nurse, right? Anyway, or his sister was a nurse, something, I don't know. Anyway, so she talks to Leela, and she said, this is Amy Belafonte, and the agent is passed out. I don't know what to do. I think he's dead. She said, well, put your hand on his chest. Is he breathing? Yes, he's moving up and down. He breathing. She said, how do you feel about blood? I don't like it. She said, well, I know it's gross, but I need you to check him. So put your hand down there, and Amy feels that the blood is dry. Good. That means he stopped bleeding, but I need you to wake him up. You know how to make a noogie? Yes, I do. Put a noogie dead in his chest as hard as you can. Wake him up. He wakes up, finds out Leela's on the phone. As soon as he gets Leela on the phone, he's upset because he knows that they're going to trace the call. And how he knows they're going to trace the call is because he took it was a very clever idea. When they first got away from the officers and they ditched the SUV, they saw a school bus loading up with kids going on a field trip, and he and Amy was able to sneak on. Amy snuck on and opened the back door of the bus up and let him on, and one of the kids took a picture with his phone. Well, when he took a picture with the phone, Brad took it and said no phones on the bus. All right. Plus, he know they probably taping Leela's phone. So he smashes the phone and gets so mad and so upset, and Amy is pissed off. She pissed off because she thought he was dead, and we promised we wouldn't leave each other. One, he said, I didn't leave you, I just passed out. Gone is gone. Amy is like, gone is gone, boo. Gone is gone. And you owe me a unicorn. So they have a little bit of a spat. But she's really, really grown fond of him. And, of course, he's grown fond of her. Now, speaking of agendas, Amy and Brad are in Wisconsin. They're going to see an old friend of his. And after they hide the car some miles away and hike up to the friend's farm, it's a goat farm, he purposely sets off the alarm. And guess who comes to the door with a gun? A big old beautiful black woman, baby. And she knows her way around a gun and a goat and a child. She's so sweet and so kind to Amy. Gets them set up. After she gets them set up and get Amy cleaned up and get them all fed and everything, Leela shows up. Leela just coming to check on her man. We also find out that Leela and Brad had a daughter. A daughter who was a whole lot like Amy Belafonte. And he feels, the daughter has passed on, and he feels this overwhelming sense of obligation. He tells her, I just know my singular purpose is to protect her and make sure she is okay. And he feels this way because whatever happened where he lost his daughter, he feels partially responsible for that too. Aside of the fact that he is starting to really love Amy as well, just like he would his daughter. She's smart as a whip. She's considerate. She is a thoughtful child. And she's loyal to the very, very end. But we're going to talk about that. So, now they all there chilling. Now, we see that Leela and Brad still like each other. They've been kissing. They've been kissing. They've been making out. They preparing to get on the boat because Lacey, the woman that he served under in the military, she was his instructor in the military. And she all about her business, baby. She got guns, and more guns. She got surveillance equipment. The whole farm is wired. If you step foot anywhere, the alarms go off. She is no nonsense. And she tries to talk Brad into whistleblowing, but he won't do it. She instead talks him into letting her do it because she feel like she got some stuff to atone for too. Not only was they in the Navy together, but they did some things overseas together as intel, as agents. She talks him into giving her the 12 names of the inmates the 12 inmates that they got down there as test subjects, which he does. The next day, after all that's said and done, everybody had a good night's sleep. They getting ready to pack up because she's arranged for a boat to take them to Canada. But she tells him, there's no way you can run. They're going to chase you to the ends of the earth, sir. Which he knows, but he just going to try anyway. Him, Leela, and Amy going to get on this boat and go to Canada. But before they do, up comes Clark, the DOD guy, the head of the DOD. Now, he done pistol whipped the man that Lacey paid to come and get Brad and them stolen car off the road and tow it away. He done pistol whipped that man into giving him the information about who Lacey is and where she is. So that's how they found the farm. They get to the farm, and Lacey and Brad go at it immediately. They get their guns locked and loaded. They covering each other, just like they were taught to do, and they taking them out. Boom, 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 boom. Well, somehow Lacey catches the bullet and goes down. I don't know if she did. I hope not. But she goes down and goes down hard. He called her name a couple of times, but she didn't get up. So he goes and sends Leela and Amy on out the back way. And he hears Clark yell, "Come on out, Brad. Bring the girl. You and the girl come out here right now. If you don't, I'm going to burn this whole house down. I'll set it on fire around you." Oh, this is what we getting to see, what kind of individual we dealing with Clark, you guys. We getting to see just how low down Clark is. First, I thought he was just jealous of Brad. Okay, all them smart comments he was making about him in the beginning, in the pilot episode. But now we see you not only jealous, you got an evil streak a mile long. Okay. Brad just decides. He just decides, you know what? It's not worth it. Tired of running, they can never stop. We're going to see what it's going to be. So he sends, he's basically going to sacrifice himself, sends Leela and Amy on out the back way. And he goes out the front, puts his guns down, and Clark make him get on his knees and put them, "Where is she?" He said, "I sent her on a boat to Canada." He said, "You got to 3 before I shoot you in the face to tell me exactly where she is." Amy, instead of her going on out the back, she doesn't hear the conversation, I don't think. I think she just decided she wasn't going with Leela and leaving Brad because they made a commitment. And so she snatches away from Leela and walks out the door calmly and stands next to Brad while he down on his knees. And he said, "Amy, what are you doing here? Why didn't you leave?" And she said, "You don't leave me, and I don't leave you." I was like, come through, melanated loyalty. Come through, melanated loyalty. We known for this. We known for this. Okay, anywho. Well, they lock them up and put them in the paddy wagon and take them on down to the lab. That's gonna be next week. That's how the show ends. But Leela done went out the back way still. We still haven't accounted for Leela. They don't know Leela there. Okay, and I don't know what's going on with Lacey. Hopefully she'll be able to patch Lacey up. And Lacey will be able to get them names out to the United States government. Or not the United States government, but over the media lines, right? Okay. Now, we see there the juxtaposition between good and evil, between Tim and Jonas, Clark and Brad. Okay? We see the juxtaposition. We see the intention or the agenda of Jonas. And we see the intention and the agenda of Brad. We also see the intention and the agenda of Tim Fanning. Okay? He's going to be famous either way, even as a vampire. Okay? He's going to be evil and no good either way, even as a vampire. He's shifty and shady, even as a vampire. Clark ain't no good. He got a black heart. You know what I'm saying? He's gone too far. He's going too far, but it ain't far enough. Even though your girl, the Major, don't want you to go this far. She don't have no idea just how low down you are. She has no idea. She really, really doesn't. Now, let's talk real quick about the caretakers. Okay, that this was one of our few action scenes. Now, the caretakers, each one of the test subjects has their own caretaker. Okay, Tim Fanning, Jonas's ex-partner, the one who was initially bit by the 250-year-old vampire, his caretaker is this sort of guy, mealy mouth guy. He's got like a little tick. I don't know if Tim is making the tick worse. He seemed real nervous from the time he got up that morning to the time he walked and scanned his way in the building and went in and you know, as soon as he walked up, Tim opened his eyes. You know, he was asleep. Now, I don't know why Tim glass cage got all that greenery in it, but okay. He sits with his eyes open and looks right at him because he been riding him all night. And he got the poor caretaker's nerves bad. Meanwhile, Shauna Babcock got a caretaker who's a butthole, a jerk. He one of them people that find somebody weaker or in a weakened state, and he picks on them. He picks with them. He terrorizes. So he punching the glass. Fanning caretaker say, "Hey man, I wouldn't do that if I was you." And you can see on Shauna's face that she is bothered by that punching of the glass. know, kind of like they do animals in the zoo. Don't do that. Don't tap the glass. It's worrisome. Okay, it's agitating. He just doing it. You don't tell me what to do. Later on, when they cleaning their glass cells out, and they put them behind a bar, still in the cell, but you behind a cage, a metal cage, while they clean the glass part out. And I guess they let that up or open it up, and now you have full reign of the cage, kind of like they do animals. Like I said, at the zoo, they put them away while they clean or put the food out, and then they release them back into the open habitat. So they supposed to be cleaning up Shauna's cell, and the bully started messing with the Fannon's caretaking, wrestling, and spin him around, and his badge goes into the cage with Shauna. And he was like, yeah, you better go get it, man. He pushes him to go get it. So he's afraid, he is scared, but he reaches in there and gets that badge. He can't leave that badge in there. And when he reaches in there and gets that badge, she don't move. She don't move because she got her eyes on that bully. Well, that bully feel like, oh, well, maybe she not so big and bad after all. Huh? I guess you not so big and bad. Next thing you know, she done yoked him up, and she sucking all the life out of his neck. And you're dead just like that. Fanning caretaker is freaked out. He is freaked out. You thought his nerves was bad before from Fanning riding him all night in his dreams, nightmares, so to speak. Oh no. Oh no. Him seeing his caretaker co-worker get his neck opened up scared the bejesus out of him. All right. So, like I said, that's the end of the episode. You guys tell me what you think. We see now that Brad and Amy Belafonte are now in the custody of the DOD. They are being returned to the CDC. And I think we are going to, it's going to escalate from here. The show already moves pretty quickly, but I was glad we got a chance to learn a little bit more about our characters on this episode. This looks like it's going to be a good show. I am loving the substance. I'm loving the fact that we can see parallels, like I said, between good and evil. I'm glad that we're learning about our characters and what some of their intentions are. One of the sweetest moments, I think, of this episode was when Amy and Brad were at Lacey's house. This was before things got bad, the night before, and she was reading her book, and he came in, and after she asked him a couple of personal questions and kidded with him a little bit, she asked him about God. She was thinking about her mom, and he was able to comfort her, thinking about his daughter, and then he began reading to her from a book that she was reading, and until she went to sleep, until she was able to go to sleep. It was a very sweet and tender moment. And you can tell that these actors care for each other in real life. It looks like Mark Paul Gosselaar's character really does, as an individual. He seems like he really cares about Sanaa Sidney, who plays Amy Belafonte. You guys tell me what you think. Have you seen this first episode, the pilot episode? Did you see this episode? Tell me what you think. Put it down below and let me know. Are you liking the review? Do you like the show? I'd love to hear your feedback. Put it down below. And until next time, honeybees, mwah, mwah, mwah. I'll holla.